Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Presents Sharing in Session. My name is Sean.
And I'm Missy.
Missy, I don't know about you, but I'm wearing the biggest fucking smile having Yellowjackets back.
Yeah, me too. It's been too long, but then we had the strike and everything, so it took even longer.
Been almost 2 years.
Has it been 2 years? Okay.
Almost.
But they at least they gave us two episodes to start, and and they were good episodes.
They were. They were really good episodes. And I'll say, in rewatching season 1 and 2 before this over the last like 2 weeks, I was actually very surprised. I had a lot of issues with season 2 that I don't think that I had upon watching it the first time, and it made me very afraid.
Okay. I mean, I just rewatched everything as well, but in a very short bingey burst, and I didn't have a problem with it. I still think it works. I think it's important for us to have that change in tone so that we feel like we have to feel the madness and the desolation of the winter. Like we have to feel that in order, because I feel like season one was that's the bones. It's set up, it's snappy. That's your hook. You've got to get people's attention. Season two is winter, and they're trapped in this cabin, and everything slows down in the winter, and we're supposed to feel their madness and their desperation. Now it's season three, it's spring, and I think we're going fucking feral, and I'm all for it.
So I should mention, listeners, if you have not watched the first 2 episodes of season 3 of Yellowjackets, do not listen to this. This is full spoiler discussion. Those of you that have, please join us. I agree with you. I don't mind the slow tone of season 2. The stuff that really bothered me were in the last
Mm-hmm.
2 episodes of the season, and I actually
Okay.
went back and listened to the last episode we did of this show for the final episode of season 2, and was surprised that I didn't really have a problem with the stuff I had a problem like the whole resolution of Mustache Cop and
Oh,
um
Kevin Tan and
Kevin Tan and
Walter.
Elijah Wood's character, I thought was like
Walter.
some of the worst writing I've possibly ever seen. And I get it's not that it's bad writing. They're relying on the wackiness of Walter's character to like carry
Mm-hmm.
you through that, and it did not work for me at all.
Okay.
That was a big one. There were several
All
things, but
right.
I can overlook all of it, and I'll just say that I felt really good about the first 2 episodes of season 3.
I did too. I did too. And I was also re-listening to our last episode. I didn't get all the way through it. I got most of the way through it while I was
Same.
on lunch, but enough to kind of remember where we were when we finished season two and what we were hoping might happen.
And a lot of it
And
happened. I felt like they listened to
yeah,
that episode. Raising animals, right? And
yeah,
like the TPs and just a lot of stuff that we like talked about, they addressed very quickly.
yeah. We spent a lot of time in the wilderness. I mean, the the current timeline is interesting too, but I'm much more interested in
Yeah.
the past, the wilderness story. Um, and I really, really, really loved how they opened this season with Van telling the story.
Great way to put exposition in your character's mouth without putting exposition in your character's
Hmm.
mouth, you know?
That scene was perfect.
Yeah, well written.
I was impressed by not only their little teepees and how they have everything set up and they're kind of growing into this little tribe. Then we go into this game they play, and it mirrors the pit girl in the beginning.
Well, that's how the season starts, is with that. That's the first thing. And I remember
Right, and then we go to the story.
right, but right away I was like, wait a minute, because at first I'm like, oh, we've caught up to the beginning of the first to the pilot, and
No,
I'm like,
because
wait a
it's
minute,
in the
no,
winter.
because she's dressed. And in our episode for the, you had talked about the fact that
Hmm.
she's, the pit girl who we think is Mari, but maybe we're wrong. She's like basically wearing the necklace because she's been chosen, and so she's stripped down and in like whatever a slip
She's
or
just in like a white,
yeah,
like a plain white sacrifice looking dress.
yeah,
Probably a
and
nightgown or something.
so then I'm like, so wait, what is going on?
It's
And
also it's winter. That opening
yes,
scene of the series is winter. So we opened season three. I'm sorry, I had reversed it initially. Then we get Van's story, but we opened season three with a chase in spring
yeah,
that mirrors this, and we can see them going in that direction because all those they're making all the animal noises and
yep,
whatnot. But this is spring. I still think that Pit Girl is going to turn out to be Mari. I feel like this is foreshadowing because the first time
yeah,
we see this, it's Mari. She was the decoy. She was the bait,
yep.
and then Mari ends up in a pit later.
Oh, there's so many satisfying elements to the way they've brought some of the background characters up front. And I love the tension between her and Shipman. And I like rewatching the last two seasons over the last 2 weeks. Like, I said that because Kirsten had previously voiced like, oh, what a fucking cunt Mari is. And I don't think I acknowledge it as much. And we're watching, I'm like, man, she is really just a
She's
fucking
awful.
bitch. Like
Yes,
so.
she is.
And I just love that she's front and center now, and it's like, yeah, she owns it. She is a fucking bit where she's like, Garcon, could you bring us some berry? I'm like, oh, you
Hmm.
fucking bitch.
Well, and I like angry Shauna. She's pretty
Oh,
badass.
dude, she is fucking fierce. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
she's fantastic. But all right, you just watched it too, and we were just talking about them bringing these characters forward, the background characters that we started seeing in season two. Now, I remember in the opening scenes or in the premiere episode,
Mhm.
we see Melissa, we see Mari, we see Akila. Did you see Crystal anywhere?
No,
Because
Crystal
she's
is like
the
she's also not one of the Graves, right?
oh, I don't think she is.
She's not. It's Shauna's baby, Javi, and Jackie.
That's right.
She obviously existed, but it's well, and they do even say like so many people have disappeared, like Crystal and Coach and this and that. So it's not like she was a figment.
Right. But I don't think because I was looking for her and I think I didn't catch her. I feel like she is the one that was inserted. All
Yeah,
these
I think
other
you're correct.
characters, people in season two were talking about that these people were just inserted, but they weren't. They're in
Yeah, they
the
weren't.
they're in the pilot episode. They're on the plane.
Yeah.
And but I can't find Crystal. So I think she just showed up. And for a while, I thought she was a figment of Misty's imagination, but she did talk to other people.
Yeah.
So she can't be. So that's the one thing about the series that irks me a little bit.
Although you know what's
But
this, they've definitely set up so many interesting. Oh, you think so? Well, and one of them is the fact that if you think about it, she did talk to other people, but when Misty went to find her body,
she couldn't find it.
she couldn't find it, so somebody took it. It could have been a bear, although I mean, it probably wasn't a bear because they were scouring for animals right at that point for food. But there, there's so many things they've shown us. Like, is it Aquila that has the dead mouse?
Uh-huh.
There's so many of those things where it's like you see something that appears to be real to one or more than one people, and then it's not, right?
Maybe Crystal's not real because, I mean, none of these people are, they're all unreliable narrators.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're seeing things from Aquila's point of view, that mouse is real until it's revealed that it isn't.
Right. And this is, I feel like, so this is potentially one of the show's weaknesses, like you said, with the crystal thing. But it's also like, yeah, but how is it going to come out in the long run? But it's also one
Mm-hmm.
of its strengths. And what I mean by that is, I
Right.
had not considered at all the fact that, and I still don't know, these two episodes introduce this idea and take it away, and I'm like, I don't know where I stand. Did Coach start to fire? I'm not so sure. I was positive at the end of the fucking second season. Now I don't know.
I don't know. I was never positive. I still think that there could be more people
There
because
has to
Javi,
be.
because Javi specifically says that because he only speaks twice when he comes back. Once to Nat when he's trying to save her,
Mm-hmm.
and once
To Ben.
to Ben. Yeah. And he says something to the effect of, she told me not to tell anybody.
Yeah.
And she told me not, or my friend told me not to come back, or not, something to that effect. And
So,
we've never seen any other people, but I mean, somebody put the symbols on the tree, somebody made these places.
well, and now we have, and so I will say, as much as I like these two episodes, I had some misgivings, even though I was enjoying
Okay.
both of these things. But both of these things reminded me so much of Lost that it made me very afraid. The
Okay.
first thing was Ben finding the cache of supplies. That was so fucking long. And at first I was like, oh, this isn't real. We've already seen that Ben like goes in these weird flights of
Mm-hmm.
fancies that are extremely detailed, right? So I'm like, this isn't real, but it was totally real. And then whatever their version of the smoke monster is, the screaming trees, or great band, that whole thing that happens was super cool, but I was like, oh man, it reminds me of the first time I saw the smoke monster, how cool it was.
Yeah,
And in the end, the smoke monster was like not cool at all because
but there
they
were,
couldn't
I
define it.
mean, but they were also on mushrooms.
No,
She's making the mushroom, she's putting the mushrooms in the tea. That was her and Travis.
it was her and Travis, but everybody hears that screaming. Travis hears it and nobody else hears it, and he says, you can't hear
Mm-hmm.
that. You will. They want inside me.
Right.
Later, I think it's at the grave ritual where they're like, Javi lead us, Jackie guide us, whatever.
Okay.
I think that was the point that screaming starts,
Mm.
and they all freak the fuck out. And then they even say, like, what if that was something eating Mari? We should go find out, what that was.
Mm.
So they all heard it. So it is something real, and it was cool, but it 100% it just felt a little lost. And I'd like to
Okay.
think that this show, all shows that are intelligently written, like this one appears to be, are very aware of the pitfalls of Lost and will not recreate it. Right? So
Well, and I had read that the writers of this show have planned it for 5 seasons. I mean, we don't know. It depends on how it does if it gets signed again, but I feel like they know where they're going with it.
I think they do. I really think they do. I think this season will actually end introducing whatever the bigger picture is, I think will not come
Hmm.
until the last episode of this. That'll be the oh shit cliffhanger,
Okay.
and then 4 and 5 will be completely fucking insane,
Hmm.
providing it goes that long. But that's just I could be completely wrong. It's just the vibe I'm getting based on the pacing. I mean, I love where we are. I'm enjoying this. So not to take
Hmm.
anything away from the next however many episodes we have for this season. I'm assuming it's 9 again, like the
I
last
think
one.
so.
Oh, it's 10.
Oh,
It's
okay,
10.
cool. So I have a question for you though. All right,
Okay.
because Ben, we see Ben. Ben's been
Yes.
surviving out there, and he's setting little snares and stuff, trying to catch things. And then he catches Mari in a pit. Where the fuck did the Ben can't dig it? Where
Oh,
did it
that's
come
where he
from?
pulled it. No, so I had to back it up the second time we watched it. He's walking with his crutches. They hit something hollow. He brushes, he clears some dirt, and you see that there's something there. And then the camera goes
Oh,
inside, and
okay.
you see him pull the one board off, right? So then they
Okay.
just don't show you. It's a
Okay.
pre-dug pit. He just removes the wood that was over it.
Okay. I do remember that scene as you're describing it. I didn't connect that that's what was
Yeah, that's what
what,
that's what it was.
okay.
And there was a ladder that he was able to go down to get he gets that protein bar right away and
Oh,
like
because
just
that's where he
stuffs the
finds
whole thing
that
in his
stuff.
mouth.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because the second time we watched it, I was lucky enough to be able. I watched it last night. I rewatched them today, and that was a question I had was like, was the pit because it's a large fucking pit.
Right. That's why what my question was, because there's no way he could have dug that, not alone,
Yeah, no, he
especially,
he discovered it.
with one leg. Okay.
Now, an interesting thing here, another lost, definite. Like I was just happy it didn't say fucking Dharma Initiative, but those Pelican cases say KUH,
KUH. Okay.
KUH, and I was like. Kirsten's like, what the hell is KUH? I'm like, I don't know, but I guarantee you if I Google this shit right now, it's all already been Googled, and it had been.
Okay.
And what I found was like a Reddit entry, I think. And so this is one of those things I don't entirely understand sometimes, like where information comes from that's on the internet. I mean, obviously, a lot of stuff is, bullshit. But apparently, KUH is not only the initials on that, but what the writers refer to the symbol as.
Oh, I
Now,
okay.
I don't know how anybody watching the show that's not looking that up online would know
Hmm.
that because I didn't know that. That was the first I'd heard of it.
I didn't know that either. I've never seen it referred as anything but the symbol.
Yeah, the symbol, exactly. So, again, I mean, you have to be fairly. Can, there's so much shit online that's just, I mean, somebody can just log on right now and be like, oh, Shauna is, the devil and this and that. And, if you Google the right thing, you'll read that and be like, oh, I didn't know that. Um, but I just thought that was really interesting that apparently the writers have acknowledged that it's the same thing. And so I'm like, so is it like some kind of I can't not think of the Dharma Initiative.
Right.
It's so or like the show Servant had something similar where there was like this like corporation that at some point they're like, oh, there's like videos and they make them and it I don't know.
I
There's
hope not. I hope
but
not. I don't want a corporation.
no, I don't want that either. I don't want that
I don't
either.
I don't want the Dharma Initiative. I mean, nothing against Lost. I enjoy Lost, but I mean, I don't love it. I have problems, but there are things about it I like.
There's things about it I like too, but I mean, not enough to ever make me sit through it again, or do anything but really kind of furrow my eyebrows when it comes up. Even though there are things about it that I love,
but I
um,
really don't want this to go in that direction.
and I don't think it will because
I
again,
don't either.
anybody doing a show like this, even if they're drawing influence from it, they're well aware of the pitfalls, right? So that's
Hmm.
I just think it's not going to go that road, but. I told you this this week, and it dawned on me watching the second season. I have to make a prediction right now, and that's I think it that they refer to the
Hmm.
darkness and the. I think it's an
Right.
egregore. I think it's something they created with their minds. Although the problem with that is it seems to have been there before. So an egregore is basically like a thought form that people create through intention. It's a magical
Hmm.
thing. I mean, I've been aware of this for 20 years since I used to really study like chaos magic and the occult. And the book that I'm writing right now has to do with an egregore that people created and actually slipped from their grasp and somebody else picked up for a while and utilized, and now they're trying to get it back. And so I wonder if it's something like that
If it's
where
something like that.
like somebody else created this thing, it stayed there, and then their intention and like Lottie and whatever was able to kind of bridge this gap and
Tap
like it
into it.
affixed to them. Yeah,
Well, and that's why I think, like you were just talking about, they all hear the screaming in the trees. I think that's why they hear it.
yeah,
They're
that
all
makes sense.
connected to it. And they're all connected to it. And some of them are like Lottie is constantly trying to push that connection.
Well, now
And
she's lost it, so
now
she's almost
pushing
abusing
Travis. Oh yeah.
Travis. And one little nitpick: mushrooms do not work 2 days in a row. I mean, maybe if you double or triple the dose, but like in the second, he gets done
Okay.
with that trip where he almost chokes her, and
Uh-huh.
like an hour later, she's handing him another mug. So I'm like, that shit
Okay.
ain't working.
And it doesn't work that. Okay.
No. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I've taken mushrooms
Okay.
and had a great time, and the next day taken like a lot more, and it barely
It
works.
didn't do
So
anything.
no,
Okay.
nothing. It's a very big disappointment, especially if you spend money on
Okay.
it. But they
I've
seem to have
never done them, but
they seem to have a huge supply. So uh,
yeah, I feel bad for like he's fucking with Travis, something fierce to the point where I think he lied.
he did. Although I don't know that he's wrong.
I don't know that he's wrong either, but I think he lied. He lied to point her at Aquila to get her off him.
100%. And it totally worked. But you know what I love about that? I want more Aquila. So I'm all
Mm-hmm.
for Lottie dosing Aquila and seeing what comes of it. It's like,
Seeing what she sees.
yeah,
Travis hears the trees screaming. What does she hear?
yeah, exactly.
Probably all the she maybe she hears the animals. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's wrong, but I don't think he knew that either. He was lying to get Lottie to back off.
Well, I think he was lying about the, oh, it told me it doesn't want me. I don't think that happened. I
Right.
think he was
It told
just,
me it
like,
doesn't want me because it's found a better connection with somebody else.
yeah.
So it pointed her that way, but I don't think he's wrong.
No, I don't think he's wrong either. So I'm curious to see where that goes. I really
Yeah.
liked that whole because it's like you want to hold Mortimer, and she's very nurturing, and then she walks away, and then Lottie comes up, and he's like, "Oh, it told me it didn't want me," and it's almost like he's thinking on the fly, like, "Oh, because
Uh-huh.
there's
I
somebody
think
who talks animals." So there you
right.
go.
I think he was. But and he just wanted her to back off.
Yeah.
He was holding that duck for dear life.
Yeah. And he's crying, and you can see it. She's lost her connection, and it deeply affects her. And so
Hmm.
she's, this almost like a tyrant about trying to use somebody else to get this connection because she can't deal with not having it.
Right. Well, I mean, she's going to evolve into a cult leader.
Exactly.
Although
Exactly.
it's not a cult, it's an intentional community.
It's an intentional community who make
The Purple People
heliotrope
cult.
clothes.
Right. The Purple People
Um,
cult.
what did you think about her showing up on Shauna's doorstep in the current
Um,
timeline?
oh my God. uh I love that fucking Callie is the one who, because she's just as manipulative as Lottie.
Oh man, is she manipulative? Holy
You
shit.
know, she plays her parents to get Lottie in the house. Then she fucking drugs Misty so
Oh, that
that
was great.
so she can have bonding time with Lottie and milk her for information. Callie's fucking nuts.
She's nuts. And like, I love the idea. So, first of all, in the season finale of two, there's that moment where Callie comes out and Lottie's like, "Is this your daughter?" Like, she's so intense about it because she was so intense about her previous baby that died, right? So there's some fixation,
Okay.
and I
Yeah, because
think,
she says she's so powerful, or she's so fierce and
yeah,
powerful, or something like that.
so I think this is going to be a really interesting relationship to watch in the series. I
Mm-hmm.
loved when she showed up on the doorstep and like Shauna brings her inside, and Callie comes out and she's like, well, they welcomed me into their house, and Shauna's like, this isn't us welcoming you into our house. This is us getting you off the porch so the neighbors don't see some goop sorceress. I was like, goop? Goop, some goop sorceress standing. I want to start a band called Goop Sorceress. I was like, what a wonderful union of two words that I never would have come up with. Oh, but
Yeah, all the
Callie,
stuff with Lottie at Shauna's house is great.
it
You
really
know,
is.
come look at our ribbons. We have a great selection.
I Oh my
I love
God.
Jeff.
Jeff has I just love he oh my God, I love him
He
so
always
much.
has the best line.
There's so many times when he makes me cringe, like at the dinner where he keeps fist bumping the guy. I was just like, oh God, stop doing that. It's like, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to take the meeting because business at the store is really hot
Mm-hmm.
right now. It's like, settle down.
Stop it. Right. Just
Although those
stop
guys
it.
were fucking dildos, and when Shauna called that guy a boner, I was like, yes.
That was awesome.
She gets up and leaves. She's like, you don't deserve his furniture. And then Jeff's only response as he leaves to those guys is, yep, that's my wife. Yep.
That's my wife.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah,
I
he's a great character, and
Yeah.
I love that he's actually got depth, and he's not just the kind of humorous dopey husband. Like, I mean, he is that, but there's more to him than that.
There's
This
way
is
more
also,
to him.
this is also the my favorite Jeff moment is him sitting in front of the police station blasting "fuck the police" while waiting for his wife and daughter to
Yeah.
finish being questioned.
Yeah. Now he's fantastic.
Yeah, he is.
What do you think about Ty and Van?
I think they're going to be real scary together. Uh, they go, they're kind of rekindling their relationship. They go to this fancy restaurant, and then get a little chaotic and crazy, and they dine and ditch this fancy restaurant, and they get someone killed.
It's happenstance.
Yeah, but is it? If there is some kind of darkness, whether
Oh,
they created it or not, it's going to be stronger when they're together, dude.
that's
Because first
interesting.
because all right, they dine and ditch this fancy spoofy restaurant, and they're running, and this waiter is chasing them. First, he almost gets hit by a car.
No,
He
a
almost gets
bus. It's
creamed,
like a
or
bus
a
or a
bus.
truck or
It
something.
was a
Yeah.
bus. That's what I was going to say, and then I thought I was channeling Final Destination, and that I fucked it up. Okay. So first he's chasing them. He almost gets hit by a bus. a passerby intervenes and saves him. He keeps chasing them, and then he has a heart attack.
No, he doesn't keep chasing him. As soon as the passerby pulls him away, he has a heart
Right.
attack.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the end of the chase. It's like almost
Gotcha.
getting
Okay.
hit by the bus scared him to the point that he had a heart attack.
Okay. Or is there something pulling strings that, oh, I missed here? You know, the bus missed you, have a heart attack.
Well, and this is interesting because we've talked about this. I want to believe in the little something extra here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said in our last episode, 2 years ago, I think the way they're handling things, if there isn't a little something extra, I think it will still end up being good. However, I
Mm-hmm.
want to believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
This, I think, is 100% legit. Nothing extra involved in this. But your point makes me think, and it based on a reaction, that's not how Ty looks at it at all. Not at all.
And Van won't either, which is why she didn't tell her.
Well, and Van is so interesting because she's impossible to read. She's the only one, like, I don't know. I I feel like I don't even know that we know who Van is in the current timeline. Like, she's obviously very good at like holding information about herself, giving it out when she has to or when she wants to, but I just feel like there's other things about her we don't know yet. Like, I did she go to urgent care? I mean, she came back with like a bag with some, like, probably antibiotics or something, but there was
Mm-hmm.
something about the way that she keep it elevated, no marathons. Like, it just felt like that's not where she went. I think I mean, also, like,
I don't know.
I
We
don't,
haven't seen everything. Just like we're seeing new sides of Shauna.
yeah,
How angry she.
yeah,
We don't know how like Van believes in it completely.
yeah,
We don't know how dark and crazy she goes.
yeah.
I think she probably goes pretty dark.
I mean, even for somebody with terminal cancer, I don't get that vibe off her at all. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm completely wrong. Um,
Well, I think she compartmentalizes
yeah,
everything. So she doesn't want them to know, so she's fine. That's what she's gonna
yeah.
that's what she's gonna show everybody, and she's good at doing it. I mean, some people are better at it than others. Also, not only that guy, but all right, Van and Ty hook up in and they start making out in like an
The
alleyway.
alley.
And when Ty looks up, she sees the eyeless man. We
Yep.
haven't seen him in a while,
Yeah.
but because he's not in every episode, it's just here and there. But that's when her other kicks in, and because there's a point in season 2 when Van and Ty are when Van is following her to the trees, finding the
Yes.
symbols, the
Hmm.
symbol trees. She says something about that he she follows the eyeless man,
Yeah. Right.
that he was so, and now these two are together and she sees him again.
But she also kind of brushed it off. Like, she just was like, she went back to, because Van's like, what's wrong? She's like, nothing, right? And they went back to making out or whatever. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't, as far as we know, we didn't see other Ty
Right.
in these 2 episodes. We don't know 100%, but it, it's so interesting. And like we talked about, they did wrap up all. We talked about in our last episode. They wrapped up all those current timeline storylines, right? And the one thing I said is they have to deep dive Ty, and this season has to explore that more. They have to. If
Mm-hmm.
not, I will be
I think
concerned.
I think they're gonna, and especially. putting these two together, they're definitely gonna, because that's how they were exploring this ship before,
Yeah.
was
And these two
together.
episodes were interesting, an interesting doorway into the season because I think there was like really, really just so much good stuff. But I think because they left stuff out, people are going to be focused. Oh, okay, so we're going to get more of this, and I think they're going to blindside us with something that, like, oh, we haven't seen in a while, right? And I think it'll
Hmm.
be that much more effective.
Oh yeah.
Because I also don't think Mustache Cop is gone. I think that he will come back at some point. I don't think
Yeah,
that
I
that's
think
just cleaned up, you
that
know.
no, I don't think it's gonna be that easy to just brush it
Yeah.
off, but I guess we'll find out how good Walter is. But I really loved all the stuff with Misty and Misty in the jacket and trying to like channel her inner Nat.
That's very Twin Peaks, where like
Okay.
Donna gets Laura's sunglasses and like wears them, and then whenever she's wearing the sunglasses, like she starts smoking and she starts acting like Laura. It reminded me a
Okay.
lot of that. Even like Missy when she goes to bed, she's like wakes up cuddling with the jacket. Did you expect? I don't know about you. Walter now annoys the living shit out of me. I still like the character, but he annoys me. And I think the reason he annoys me is because, okay, Misty and him are so similar, right?
Yeah, they're a match made in psycho fucking heaven.
But I think now by Misty living with or I don't know if they're not living together, but by Misty being around somebody like her, I don't know that she's self-aware enough to realize, oh, he's like me and that's annoying, so I shouldn't be annoying. But she's annoyed by herself, basically, in the form of Walter, because he
Right.
clearly annoys the living shit out of her, but he's just acting like she would.
Right. Well, and because he's super needy and she is too, but not with him. So now she's seeing what the needy feels like from
Yeah.
the other angle, and she doesn't like it.
Well, and she can like fulfill her needs with her imagination, right? My friends, Nat's my best friend, my friends, my friend. And it's like, well, Walters couldn't do that because he's like, no, that's not what. I mean, he has known her for I don't know. It's been 6 weeks since
Right.
the
So a
end of
couple
this,
months.
so a couple months, but like it's clear as day to everybody but Misty. Like he's right. They don't pick up if you the only reason they fucking
Hmm.
contact you is if they need you to do something, and they will never be there for you.
Right. Right. The best friend she's ever had is fucking Walter.
Yeah, and she's doesn't
And she
she's
doesn't see
now
it.
annoyed with him.
Right. And but I mean, she's, in her imagination, Nat was her best friend
Yeah.
and she killed her and she's fucked up. Like she was fucked up before, but I mean, now she thinks she killed her best friend and she's super fucked up.
The scene at the bar, I was like, she does
So
7 shots of fucking shit whiskey,
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God.
I would be fucking destroyed. And I drink beer every day, and I'm like, this bitch weighs like fucking 75 pounds,
Right.
like, and she doesn't drink.
Right. And she doesn't drink. And she's trying to channel her inner Nat and be tough in this cool leather jacket. And she's wearing like a sweater with a cat on it.
Oh my god, Christina Ricci's acting where
It's,
she's
oh, I
acting
love her.
drunk is fucking outstanding because the scene in the bar where she's like yelling at the two guys playing pool was great, but then the scene with Walter was even better where she's just like, she's not the boss of me. Like she was so believably a drunk person. Oh, I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, she's awesome. And Christina Ricci does such a good job.
She really does.
Like she really channels her inner crazy.
And
Misty's batshit insane.
do you think I feel like she might try to become, like if you look at the characters as archetypes, their personalities, right? I
Hmm.
feel like she might actually try to become Nat's personality. Like she might try to become the fucking badass, hard drinking, like she's already like writing this narrative for like when she shows up at Shauna's, she's like, my drinking problem? Like, you don't have a drinking problem.
Right. You
Well,
just
do
got
I?
drunk.
But but if you invent a drinking problem, you can self-fulfill that prophecy very easily, right? I mean,
Well, she doesn't have to. Callie will spike her drink. Well, that entire sleepover scene was just wonderful and ridiculous. And first, Misty's trying to keep them apart, as Shauna asked, and she's going to do that by alphabetizing everything in the pantry.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. So you brought up, so obviously Melissa, who previously I think I always referred to as Hat Girl,
Uh-huh,
is
Cat
is
Girl.
the next one they're going to bring into the current timeline. And I had forgot the Hillary Swank announcement, so it's obviously going to be Hillary Swank, I think.
Yeah, I
I mean,
assume. I mean, we assume, but I mean, there are other girls that we haven't seen, you know, adult versions of. We don't. Do they ever say? Because I don't remember, even in this rewatch, do they ever say how many survivors there were?
no, they don't. And so here's the thing: if you look at IMDb, and it's been this way, I think the whole time. Like Akila, um, who's the girl? The girl
Akila,
that
Melissa, Jen,
Jen with a G, right?
Mari,
Jen with a
Jen with a
G.
G. Yeah,
All of those actresses are listed as teenage Akila, teenage Mari, teenage whatever. So it's
right. But
interesting because that makes you think, could they be? And I think they're doing it on purpose. I don't think they're all.
yeah, they're not all going to have survived, but
We don't know. And so I thought the end of the second episode was fucking glorious because you got to see Shauna's absolute fucking rage. Like when she's like, everybody's afraid of you. And she's like, I will fucking gut you. Like
right.
you go from thinking she's about to fucking cut this chick's throat, and then all of a sudden they're in the throes of passion.
Well, I mean, I think Shauna was about to hurt her.
She was.
Like Shauna can't, she's full of rage and she
Yes.
can't she can't stop. I mean, she almost killed Lottie at the end of season two.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, and,
so
and
I mean,
the whole time Van is doing her previously on speech at the beginning of the first episode of this season,
right,
it's cutting to Shauna journaling, and she's like, "It makes me want." It's like she hates everything and everybody.
everything. Yeah. So I mean, I think she was going to, be violent with her, but then Melissa kissed her and they like it's been a rough couple of months.
Yeah, exactly. There's
And
another
so
way
I mean,
to diffuse
it's
the
human contact,
situation.
right? It's human contact.
Yeah, but then and then it like and so I said this to Kirsten, and she thought I was right, but neither one of us remembered this from this rewatch. I could swear that there was some conversation in one of the previous seasons. In my head, it's like Jeff and Callie, or I don't know, but I feel like there was some intimation that Shauna had at some point, like dated, quote unquote, maybe like a girl, like swung both ways.
I didn't
And
catch that. I don't know.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm mixing it with something else. I don't know. But at any rate, this is really interesting in that another person from the past comes out in its current timeline, and what do they want?
Hmm.
they've missed all of the. They missed the reunion. They missed the whole thing at Lottie's. Like they missed all of that. So where have they been, and why are they here now, and what do they want from her?
Yeah, that's a good question, especially since someone is obviously trying to like get in contact with her. I mean, that whole thing with the phone.
Yeah, which was great.
It has the wilderness as a background.
It was fantastic that when Lottie shows up at their house and Shauna says, "Get off my lawn," and then when she comes in and Callie's talking to her, she's like, "Yeah, Mom, of course you would say that because you have such 'I want to talk to your manager' energy." And then at the end of the episode, she actually tells the person on the phone, "I want to talk to your manager." And you see it, she's aware, she's
Right,
saying
first
it,
she
and that it was called out previously. Oh, it's
well, and first
glorious.
she looks around to like make sure that Callie isn't or nobody's there to hear
Yes.
her ask to, you know, because
Oh, it
she
was
like
so good.
whispers it like, you know, like the way crazy Catholic ladies will whisper the devil, like my mother
Yep.
does.
Yep. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, overall, I mean, I'm excited to see where they want to go with it.
Yeah.
I I feel like they're going to deliver. I hope that that's true. I want them to go fucking feral. I want it to be Lord of the Flies cranked up to 37 with angry, pissed off teenage girls.
Yeah, I think you might get your factions. I mean, we talked in the last episode a year and a half
Hmm.
ago, 2 years ago, about, you were like, oh, I thought there were going to be like these different factions. And I feel like that could still very much happen.
Maybe, I
Um,
don't know.
I, I, there's still like, again, there's so many things like you got to take psychological. Like, who the fuck is Ben talking to? I don't think he's talking to anybody. I don't think there's anybody down there with, when like Mari, he gives Mari the hot chocolate.
I think he's talking to because he was having all those visions,
Yeah.
or I think he's talking to his partner, his boyfriend, who's
Yeah. I
Paul.
think they're all
I
losing it a
love
little bit.
Paul. That's what. Yeah, so it's Paul
Yeah.
was was his boyfriend. Oh yeah, they're all definitely like they're all seeing shit. They're all losing their minds. They're they've been trapped out here for. I mean, we've gone through at the very least fall, winter, and now we're in spring.
Yeah.
I don't know how warm it was when we crashed.
Well, it seemed like it's an early spring. That was like based on Van's previously on story. It
Okay.
sounded like that, it had come early. That was like they perceived that as like a gift.
Mm-hmm. That now it's spring.
I mean, like we brought up, but previously they may be raising animals, but I guess the thing is, okay, as long as they're raising animals, like when the cold comes, they can slaughter them and hopefully keep them on ice, so to speak.
Right.
But we know that's not going to happen. We know there's going to be another resort to cannibalism.
It's intense.
It's intent. There's another thing Travis says when he's tripping. One, 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 two, three, eyes on me. No idea what it means, but
Right.
eyes are a
Eyes
constant. The queen
or
has no
constant.
eyes. The eyeless man. There was stuff with Sammy and eyes. The
Uh-huh.
Thais' kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very very pleased with this episode. I just coming off this rewatch where I was a little bit like we
Mm-hmm.
finished that second season finale. I was like, oh man, there's that with the stuff of Walter just and the cops bugged the shit out of me.
Okay. It didn't, I don't know. It didn't bother me.
I think it works ultimately because of his quirky character, but I just don't
Right.
know that like
Oh, it's
you,
gonna backfire. Like there's probably gonna be more to it than
but
all that,
it
but
just it felt so like last minute resolution whipped up and again, it works because he's quirky, but in a show where you have stakes like this and an
mm-hmm.
intensity level to like resolve something like that, it just doesn't quite meet the high water like the mark that you've set. So,
Mm,
but here's the thing. all of these issues, right? Like even what you said about crystals, a very interesting point. And it made me think when you were saying that, made me think of this. The movie Shutter Island. Okay.
Okay, I saw it once in the theater. I don't remember it very well, but I remember it had a twist ending. I don't remember what the twist ending was.
So I remember I've only seen it once in the theater as well. So here's what I remember about that. I like the movie, but when it starts with like DiCaprio and whoever plays his partner. They're on a boat because they're going across the sound, the whatever to the body of water to the prison. And when he's like sick in the bathroom or whatever, I think it's seasickness or whatever. He comes out and he's like, "Okay, well, I mean, you're my partner." Like, there's all this exposition put into his mouth in a way where I was like, Martin Scorsese, what are you fucking doing? This is awful fucking writing. You get to the end of the movie and you realize, no, that's part of the story is the fact that like this weird setup where that's not what you're seeing. And so it makes perfect sense that this person is saying this stuff because it's like it just makes sense. It's not bad writing. It makes sense, but you don't know it makes sense until you get to the end. So that's one thing to always remember, especially with a show like this, where there's levels and mysteries
Mm-hmm.
and what you're seeing, you don't know. So you can dismiss it as like, oh, that sucks, or that's stupid, or that's bad writing, but you don't know yet. So you always gotta wait and hold off and be like, well, no, maybe that'll come back around. With the crystal thing, maybe there's going to be, I mean, I've said all along, and I feel like you've backed me up. You know, there's a point in early in the first season after they crash when they're marching to the water, there's 19 people. You can pause it at one point and count 19 fucking people, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's other parts where there's like barely 10. At the grave ritual in whichever episode that was in of these two, there's 11. Now,
Okay.
maybe not seeing everybody all at once, but you're thinking that there's certain things that happen, and if everybody's not there, it would be almost everybody. The numbers wax and wane, and I think it has to do with how many actors they have at that time and whatever, blah, blah. You know, I understand. Or is it intentional?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
We don't know, but that's okay. I mean, not knowing is why we all keep coming back.
Well said. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Like
So
I
I'm
like
not,
that it keeps me on my toes.
yeah. I mean, otherwise, what would we be talking about here?
I totally think at some point Misty's gonna kill Walter though.
I could see that.
He's already driving her crazy. And he's
Yeah,
just like her, so he'll never go away.
I didn't expect that. I did not expect that relationship to be the way it is. And even like, she's like, then maybe we shouldn't be together. And I'm like, are you guys actually together? And then I was like, is Misty Quigley a virgin?
He probably is.
And then like, that further like
I mean,
refines the
nobody
character.
likes her.
I mean, even like the first time she's on a date in like one of the early episodes, right? I mean, she's got like her cleavage is hanging. She's just obviously she's inviting that fucking guy in to have a like. Obviously, she's sending every fucking signal. Free
Right.
lunch.
Well, and this guy tried to get away from her at the restaurant because he's like, I gotta go home and I
Yeah,
work
she's
in the
like it's like
morning,
six
but
o'clock or
it's like
whatever.
6 o'clock. Right. And then she kind of guilt him into staying because she's like crying and
Yes, just
oh, I'm
so
not pretty
manipulative.
and this and that and right. So he stays and he drives her home and then she tries to get him in the house and
Well, and then he goes in and Nat's there with a gun and he leaves, right?
that's
That's
right.
his like
Yes.
he's like, thank God that woman was in her house with a gun.
Right, I'm out.
Oh my God.
I miss Juliette Lewis.
Yeah, I do too.
It's not the same without her.
It's not, but
I get it, but I mean,
I'm
and at
happy
least we
when they can do that because like that takes some fucking balls.
right. It does. It does. And it's pretty cool that we get these two stories that even though an adult version dies, we still get all that stuff about their character
Yeah.
from the wilderness because they're different timelines.
Yep. I kind of hope if there's going to be 5 seasons, and I hope there are, I hope that they shot because there is a thing where like you're starting to see whenever you're dealing with younger actors playing, I mean, they're gonna age out, right? That's like the Stranger Things. Like I almost feel like by the time we get the end of Stranger Things, they're gonna be 30. I know it's coming this year, but I mean, we've
Hmm.
been hearing that for quite a few years as well. But I mean, there's a level of suspension of disbelief with the age that's fine,
Hmm.
and then there's a level where it's like, okay, okay. I mean, you're gonna, and I will say, this show, one thing I really appreciate. So there's the thing with Lost where there was a big backlash where people were like, okay, you know what, Hurley, they have no food, Hurley. And then so the writers were like, "Oh shit, he's finding food that's been airdropped, and that's what you know what I mean because he never lost any weight." And it's like
Right,
you would be starving.
right,
I feel like everybody on this cast in the '96 timeline, like I feel like they have been very cognizant of like I'm going to like Van looks considerably thinner to me. Not like she wasn't big, but I'm just saying she looks like
right.
he's maybe skirting like trouble.
Hmm.
So I think that's a kind of commitment. Like you don't have to go there, but at the same time, the older you get, people, I mean, you get taller, you get you just do, right? It's just what
Right,
happens, and I feel like they're cognizant of that. So also with the age, like hopefully they shot a lot more stuff for the next seasons with the in the '96 timeline when they were filming this stuff.
right, so that it's consistent.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're there for what, a year and a half, 2 years,
19 months is what they said in the
19 months. So just
2 winters.
under 2 years. But I mean, even in 2 years, you look different.
Yeah, absolutely. At that
So I mean,
age,
so
at that age,
right,
you look different. Like there's
yeah.
no two ways about it. You just do.
So what do you think about because we haven't talked about this yet. Nat is with they're looking for Mari and she sees the snare and she tries to lead Misty away from it because she doesn't know where Coach Ben is, but she knows he's not dead and she's been covering
She's been
for
covering
that.
for him. I think that's fucking awesome.
I think it is too. I love her character, but they're gonna have a mutiny. So I might get my factions.
You might well, and also the whole I think it was Ty or Van went to Nat and said, "You got to do something about Shipman and Mari," and she didn't.
Hmm.
And
And
then they were like, and what was it? Was it Van says to Ty like, "You think you would have done better?" And she's like, "Don't you? They're not." And it's so interesting. Their little council too is Jen, Ty, Van, and Nat. Right? That's so interesting to me that's like the Illuminati of the group, or unless it was just like a hunting meeting or something. But that's not how I took that. I took that as like
hmm
I don't know. It was very interesting. But yeah,
yeah,
I think there
I
could
took
be a
it as like
mutiny.
a council too. I took it as like a council too, but yeah, we've already, I mean, Shauna wanted power, like did not agree with the wilderness chose Nat.
Yeah,
You know, Ty's a politician
yeah,
and you know, she's always in that kind of position. Um, Misty, I mean, she wants to be needed. She was trying to help Nat, but that now she's like coming to the others and telling Shauna about this. So
Yeah.
you never can quite trust. Well, you can't trust her, but
No, you can't. Yeah, I really like that she because earlier in the first episode she's like I've hunted everywhere, he's not here, he's got to be dead.
right.
And then and I was thinking like, so where the hell did he go? And then oh no,
Oh,
she's already seen signs of
right.
him. She just is like, let's just let this go. She gets she gets. I don't know how she feels about the fire. I mean,
But she doesn't want them. They want to hunt him, and she doesn't want them to do that.
yes, exactly. And I like
And
that. I think that's because of the bond
I
they
do
had,
too.
which she
Mm-hmm.
denies,
Oh
right?
yeah,
She tells Misty, like, we never even really spoke.
yeah, to protect him.
Right. But I mean, Misty, well, so Nat doesn't know, but Misty knows that's a lie because she eavesdropped on their whole conversation, about their mushroom conversation about love.
Mm,
So, but it's just interesting. I just really like that she was protecting him.
I do too.
I root for Coach Ben.
Well, because Nat, she's not like the others. She's
No.
very like I love her because I get her. She's very direct. She's not going to play any games about it.
Right.
But because of that, when she had a real bond with Coach because she just fucking talked to him.
Yep.
Like real talk, not the bullshit catty high school girl stuff that
Yeah,
the
right.
others
They
do.
were kind of like a little unit, They like found they could talk to one another. They had a couple times where they talked to one another, and I feel like they connected, or
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why. But
Oh, that's for sure why. But she, like, I caught that right away. She knows he's out there. She's trying to deter them.
yeah, she's trying to deter them. But,
But now Misty is bringing attention to
yeah,
because she saw the snare and but I see I don't know I don't know why but I never really felt like he started the fire. I remember asking you after we watched it because I don't know. I don't think it was him. I don't have anything to back it up, but
I feel like when he's there and looking in the window. I feel like now I feel this is. I feel like I
I
just
don't
watched this not that long ago, but I think he's getting fuel. I think he's carrying. Maybe I'm wrong, but I swear
yeah,
there.
but they're locked in. I mean, I don't think because they're locked in the cabin when it's burning. I just don't feel like he's got that in him to lock 20 people in a burning building or, however many there are.
And I agree, except so I feel like my read at the end of season two, both times, was I wouldn't have thought he had it in him either, but the way he's looking through the window and seeing things and realizing what's going on, I think he switched. My interpretation was he had switched over to survival mode, and he was like,
And he was just scared and just,
Look, if I don't kill them, they will kill me, hands down."
okay.
So, but
Now you said
and
you're not sure though. So what changed
I'm
your
not sure
mind?
because he says very convincingly to Mari, like, "I've been trying to stay away from you. I didn't start a fire." But as soon as he gets out of the hole, I feel like, I don't know. You see a different side of him. He binds her, and he doesn't kill her, but he
Right.
brings.
Well, and what else would you say? I mean, of course he's going to, even if he did burn it, he's going to tell
Exactly.
her no. Oh my God, that scene with the knee.
Oh wow, rough, rough,
Yeah. that,
rough, rough.
yeah,
I mean, enjoyable because it was Mari, but still really rough.
yeah.
I love seeing people that act so tough ball their fucking eyes out. Because she thinks she's such a fucking badass, and she is just not. She is just not.
So
And
she's
like
just the bitchiest of teenage girls.
when she runs off and she's like, fuck you guys or whatever, she leaves. The first thing I said is like, where the fuck are you gonna go? Like
Right.
what? Like you're not just like this isn't just some big dramatic like teen. I mean, granted they're teenagers, but I mean
They're
like to some
teenage girls.
degree, And what does Nat say? Come on, Ty, it's stupid teenage girl shit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh man.
But yeah, they came to her, they wanted her to do something. She said, let it go. It's just teenage girl shit. Then it gets out of control. So she tries to do something and they're not like, they don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
So you just have too many. Well, whenever you have a group of people together, though, you're going to have too many people who think they can do it better. They should be in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, Ty's a politician.
Well, and the all right, not only are they bitchy teenage girls, but a they were a championship team. So they all have a bit of like these are not dormouses.
No, they're competitors.
Yeah, that they're competitors. So we're gonna see a lot of friction between a lot of, and it's a stressful, tense situation. So
Yeah.
everybody's cranked up.
Oh man.
Lots to look forward to.
Yeah. So I guess the next episode, if we understand correctly, if you're watching it on the app, it'll be Friday, and if you're watching it on cable, I guess it'll be Sunday. I guess
Yeah,
that's
I believe that's how if you're streaming through the Paramount Plus with Showtime, I believe they will be dropping on Fridays for us. But anybody who's watching it on Showtime that is not streaming, it airs on Sunday. I don't know
okay.
what time. So if you have, you know, if you're like my parents and you have the satellite dish or the cable still, those people are watching it on Sundays. If you're streaming it through Paramount Showtime, then we get it Friday. And I guess we get it pretty early because I don't know what time it drops, but I checked for Yellowjackets um yesterday before I went to work. So like, I don't know, 11 o'clock in the morning, it was there.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow.
So it wasn't like an 8 p.m. drop or something. It was there early in the day.
So I guess we'll see. I'll probably drop these on Mondays just so people that see it on Sunday, so it lines up with everybody and it gives us the weekend to like we'll watch it on Friday, record Friday night or Saturday. I can edit it on Sunday.
Right.
So
Works for me.
but yeah, I mean that's the first two episodes of Yellowjackets season 3, and I think we're both excited.
I'm very excited. I'm so glad it's back. I missed it. We
Yeah,
haven't
same.
had a real good weekly in a while.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the Horror Vision sharing session, and I'm Sean,
And I'm Missy.
and we'll be back next week.
Hell yeah.
Hapless teenagers beset by demons in the woods. A strange new drug that turns art into murder. A can't beat a deal on a new house with a horrifying past. A video game that might usher in the apocalypse. From the demented mind of Sean C. Baker, author of a collection of desires, Shadow Play, and Murder Virus, comes Volume 4, collecting Baker's no sleep work along with several never-before-published short stories. This 99-cent volume also includes the opening chapter of the author's forthcoming teenage giallo novel, Black Gloves and Broken Hearts, due out later this year.